Republicans are panicking and pointing the finger at each other after the results of the Tennessee special election. Now, even though the MAGA Republican candidate won, it was a 14-point shift in that special election district, Tennessee 7th. But here's what we're hearing from Republicans and from leadership. Tonight is a sign that 2026 is going to be a bitch of an election cycle, one of the biggest flashing red light warning signs we've ever seen yet for Republicans. This conference may become unhinged. It was too close, said another House GOP leadership aide. None of it bodes well for the GOP in the midterms. The winds are likely to blow against us in federal races in 2026. CJ Warnke was the one who pulled all of that together. Let's take a look. Manu Raju interviewed some of these MAGA Republican Congress members and senators in the hall, like Tim Burchett and others. Let's play this clip.
Are you concerned at all that this was closer than it has been in the past?
I'm always concerned, to be honest with you. And yeah, we got a real problem and we better wake up.
What about issues like affordability and the like? Do you guys need to do a better job on those issues?
Of course we need to. The best friend the Democrats have right now is the Republicans' messaging, because we do a terrible job of messaging.
So we have got to help people be able to afford the necessities of life and just get by day to day.
Well, Donald Trump, what do you think about affordability? Here's what he said in the press conference that he just had. Let's play it.
It's a con job. I think affordability is the greatest con job. They look at you and they say, affordability. They don't say anything else. Everyone says, oh.
You know, whatever he's going through right now, too, he can't even say con job. He just goes, con job, blah, 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 blah. Then you have Elise Stefanik sharing very critical remarks about Speaker MAGA Mike Johnson to the Wall Street Journal. He would not have the votes to be Speaker if there was a roll call vote tomorrow. I believe that the majority of Republicans would vote for new leadership. It's that widespread. You think she's angling for that because she sees the way that governor's race is going for her? But what are MAGA Republicans focused on in the House? You know, the big important issues like what Billy Madison would say, shampoo is better, conditioner is better. Seriously, this is what they were doing in a House hearing. Play this clip.
Your hair and your shampoo shouldn't require a 4-year evacuation plan. I urge my colleagues to support this straightforward bill. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I mean, they think this is funny. I mean, there are people who are really struggling right now. I want to bring in Democratic Congressman member Tom Suozzi, who's got his sleeves rolled up, and he's trying to figure out a solution when it comes to these Affordable Care Act subsidies, extensions, healthcare affordability. And I mean, you speak with a lot of the more moderate, if that exists, Republicans to try to, you know, they're worried about this, one, just in terms of what their constituents suffering, but also the midterms they see as the flashing warning signs as well. What's going on, Congressman?
Well, come January 1st, a bunch of people's health insurance rates are going through the roof. There are people who have what are called these premium tax credits, enhanced premium tax credits, that are going to lose them come December 31st if Congress doesn't act. And as a result, there'll be people in my district. I looked it up the other day. If you're a family of 4 making $130,000 a year, your premiums are going to go up more than $1,000 a month. I mean, no exaggeration, no hyperbole. It'll even be more than that. It'll go up $1,000 a month. And everybody will be facing, these people that get these premium tax credits will be facing hundreds of dollars, if not over $1,000 a month in increased health insurance premiums. So this is a real problem for real people. And affordability is the number one issue in the country. There's no question about it. It's not only reflected in all the polling, it's reflected in the election results we saw in November. It's reflected in Tuesday night. People want to know what you're going to do to make my life better.
Your congressional district is near and dear to my heart. It's where I interned. It's where I grew up. It's where my mom lives. And so those affordability issues and the price of healthcare going up when those ACA subsidies expire is something that, you know, you see when I go back and visit my mom and see that town. So what's going on, though? Because, you know, there's obviously option one, you know, for now, because this is an emergency situation, which is extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies for a year, for 2 years, or however, for at least some period of time to give people the comfort that they may not lose their healthcare insurance and feel that they're going to die. Right?
So
I mean, that's the dire.
I actually co-sponsored a bill to extend the Affordable Care tax subsidies for 1 year. It had like 12 or 13 Republicans, 12 or 13 Democrats. It had a lot of momentum. And then during the end of the shutdown, it really lost momentum. And they said, that's not good enough. So then I worked on a compromise with me and two Democrats, two Republicans, and proposed a compromise. Let's extend it for 2 years, but let's put income caps on it. If you make above $200,000 to $300,000, you're gonna get less of a subsidy, less of a tax credit. And then above 300,000, you don't get any help. So it's like, okay, the Republicans thought that was a good idea. I agree with them, actually. It was a good compromise to make. So we made a lot of progress with that. Now the White House is putting out a new bill that wants to make it not from 200,000 to 300,000, but to make it less than 200,000. And they want to require people who would have a zero premium to pay, those people that make $20,000 as an individual or $40,000 as a family of four, not a lot of money where I live or where you live now. They want to make you have to pay some sort of minimum premium. Well, that's the kiss of death with a lot of Democrats because they see that as being an administrative burden for people that are lower incomes like that, and that they would just not be able to do the administrative work paying a premium every single month because of lack of a bank account, lack of a credit card, something else happened in your life. So I'm saying, well, maybe we could do something where we do it so you pay a lump sum, small amount in the front just to show you have some skin in the game, but not have to do it every single month. So there's a lot of people talking to try and make a deal. The problem is that when the White House said, maybe we should do something on this extension of these premium tax credits, the Republicans went crazy because they don't want to do anything that does anything to do with the Affordable Care Act, with Obamacare, as they named it. And so the majority of the House, the majority of the Senate came out and said, no way, we're not doing anything. That's a problem for Johnson because he's having problems with his own members right now. And it's a problem in the Senate. So they don't really want to make a deal. There are, however, about 20 Republicans that are more moderate, that are in tough seats, that actually don't want to see these people lose their insurance, and they want to try and make some sort of deal. The question is, how do you get it on the floor? And how do we find a compromise in the midst of everybody yelling and screaming at each other? So, go ahead.
And to your point, MAGA Mike, though, keeps killing it from getting through the committees to get on the floor. I mean, that process, if it got on the floor, the same way we saw with the discharge petition to release the Epstein files, this would be something that would pass. It's, I think we can come up with a solution. We can govern. We can make a deal.
That's right. There's a deal to be made. The question is getting it on the floor. To do that, you have to do a discharge petition. When you do a discharge petition and you're in the majority, everybody gets pissed off at you from your team that you're helping to make this happen. And, it's a very time-sensitive thing. The time is running out. There's a lot of the politics involved. The question is, will people do a discharge petition? We don't know the answer to that yet. Nobody's willing to make a firm commitment to do that. If we could get 5 or 6 or 7 Republicans to say they would do that, we could make this deal happen. So that's up in the air right now. So you'd have to get all the Democrats. So you can't make a deal that you would get a large group of Democrats pissed off, and you need to get a few, 5, 10. It'd be great if you could get 20 or 25 Republicans. But for that to happen, you don't get the majority of the majority, which means they all get pissed off at their leadership, and then they try and kick them out, probably.
To tell you what bothers me, though, so much, Congressman, which is, during the government shutdown, MAGA Mike said that they have a plan, that they're going to release it publicly. Here's what he said. Let's play the clip.
Is if the government reopened tonight, would Republicans have a plan to address the Obamacare subsidies?
Yes.
You would have a plan
we
tonight.
have proposals to, we could have that ready immediately. Yes.
Not just gaslighting. I mean, that behavior right there is why Americans so distrust Congress and government. And it's a form of psychological torture, I feel, because you're playing with people's lives when you say things like
you have to remember that over the past 15 years, there have been over 70 attempts to gut the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. 70 attempts. And so the stuff that you're seeing with the weakening of Medicaid, which is another topic, which is not even what we're debating right now. That's what we debated during the big, beautiful bill. The different things that are happening to Medicare, and now this extension of the premium tax credit debate, it all has to do with like weakening the Affordable Care Act system, which they've never really liked. So There are some people that are very reasonable that really want to try and make a deal. The question is whether they can make a deal with us and then get it onto the floor by doing a discharge petition. So, or by using political pressure amongst themselves. So that's what we're working on. And it's a grind, I got to tell you, because even people who want to do work, who want to, these jobs are really not worth it just to get elected, but you don't accomplish anything. It's not worth it. It's only worth it to actually make the world a better place to live in, to make somebody's life better. And this is a real life issue that will affect people's lives. Could you imagine if you're a family of 4 and you're making $90,000 a year and you're like getting by, and you got a premium tax credit now that makes you only have to pay 8.5% of your income for health insurance. Now they're getting rid of that. They're getting rid of the premium tax credit, and your insurance is going to go up $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 a year. It's just awful. And then what will happen is a bunch of people will get off of health insurance. They won't have health insurance, especially young, healthy people, especially. But a lot of families will get off of health insurance. That'll make the pool smaller. That'll make everybody's insurance go up. When you have less people in the pool, it makes everybody's insurance go up. So this is real life. It's tough stuff. It's complicated. And we just need people to remember why they came to Congress in the first place, to actually just do the work and get something done.
Before we go with these deeply serious conversations that we have, we should be able to talk about affordability and like intelligent adults. And I just want to share this with you because, you have Fox, they literally just, and MAGA Mike, like they just take their orders from Trump. And so Fox said, look, Donald Trump's going to hold this press conference and it's going to be about affordability. Then they go, they say this on air. Wait a minute, we can't use the word affordability because Donald Trump may text us and get mad at us. And I was watching. Gosh. Here, let's watch this. Let's play it.
Sandra, we continue to wait for President Trump to speak from the White House, announcing the latest move in his, I don't want to say the affordability agenda because he might text me, the latest move in his efforts, I guess, to make things more affordable. Can you say it any other way?
To improve the economy, to grow the economy, right, John? Plus.
It's just not funny.
Oh, my gosh, that's terrible. Listen, everybody knows, this happened to Biden, quite frankly. They were saying the stock market's going up, everything's great, and the people are going to the supermarket and their prices were going up. And they're like, oh, this is not great for me. Right now, Trump said at his inauguration, I'm going to rapidly reduce prices. And what's happened in real life? Prices are up at the grocery store, with clothing, with construction materials, with Christmas toys. Prices are up. Why? Because of the tariffs. Prices are going up in health insurance because of the cancellation of the premium tax credits. Prices are going up in energy because there's new demand for energy for the first time in 20 years. At the same time, they cut the supply during the big, beautiful bill, as they call it, for green energy projects. So they're increased demand because of the data centers, decreased supply because they cut the bills. Prices are going up because the debt is so big because of the big, beautiful bill that causes upward pressure on interest rates. Even if you get a 0.25% decrease here, 0.25% there, it's the highest it's been in modern times. People can't afford to buy a house, can't afford to get a car loan. Prices are going up, interest rates are going up because of all that debt. And you got 1.5 million less people in the workforce because they've been deported or they're afraid to go to work. So that makes the farms more expensive, or the butchers more expensive, the meat processing plants, the manufacturer. Why? Because they have less employees, so they have to pay their existing employees overtime, or they have to hire new people at higher wages. So prices are going up; they're not going down. And affordability is a real issue. And politically, it's great for the Democrats that these guys don't get it, and that we do get it. And we're talking about affordability of healthcare. But in real life, we should be working together to actually solve the problems and make people's lives better.
Congressman Tom Suozzi, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it, man.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.